Okay, hello and welcome back to my live stream of Our Life, beginnings and always. I just specified because there will be a second Our Life game. We are playing a main character who has grown up with the gentleman we see on the screen, Cove. He is as a kid and as an adult. And you can pick your name, your gender, your pronouns. You can even decide if you're trans or non-binary. You get to pick your look, but it doesn't really show up much in the story. It's just for you to have a reference. So we are playing a non-binary assigned female at first person, and as a child, you're about 8 when you meet Cove, and then it's right into steps. And the first step is childhood, the second step is adolescence, and that's when you turn 13. Third step, which is the one that we started last week, is when you turn an adult, when you turn 18 and graduate high school. So it's the summer after you graduate high school, and you need to figure out what the heck do I want to do with my life. And just, I feel that so much. So yes, my character's name is Juliet. It started out as Juliet. So these are different moments and how many and which ones, and these top ones come with the base game, which is free. These bottom ones are the DLC, which is not free. That's how they are able to make the game. And it's a sequel. I don't think it's a sequel. It's in the same vein. I haven't actually looked into it. There is a demo available for a sequel, but I've been focused on this. So there will be a link in the description on YouTube to the base game, and once I start playing the DLC, to the Step 3 DLC as well. But it's fascinating to have a link to the DLC when I don't even put it in the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I have been getting subscriptions, but I'm not doing a very good job of promoting the channel, so there you go. I don't get any kickback for doing these videos. From the devs, I'm doing this purely for my own fun and enjoyment. Oh, and when you make that shift from step 2 to step 3, you get to design your bedroom, because you take over your older sister's bedroom, because she's not living at home anymore. So why should that remain empty if you can have it? You got the wash beach towel from off your bed and stuffed it into a bag. You had already packed your water bottle for your upcoming beach hangout session. The stars had aligned, and somehow everyone was free today. Miranda had set things up with several bubbly phone calls between you, Cove, and Terry to find a time to hit the beach. You're hoping that this would be a fun time together. Something else, you can romance Cove. I'm not doing that because I feel like that's the obvious thing, and one of the things I try to do with these is romance, if applicable, someone that most people might overlook because they're so focused on the popular choices. That's why with When the Night Comes live streams, I didn't romance Finn, Ezra, August. Those 3 are the really popular options. And I don't want to do that, because what's the fun in that? There's plenty of places with being romance. What about someone less popular like Piper or Omen or Icon? So I'm hoping to do that here. We'll see. Phil sat on your windowsill and kicked one of his legs into the air idly. He already had his swimsuit on and a towel bundled under his arm in a misshapen ball. Now that's not fair. Honestly. He'd shown up earlier that morning with a surprising amount of enthusiasm. He was trying as he caught up to his preparation. But seriously, I couldn't find my swimsuit this morning. I looked everywhere. It had disappeared. I had no idea what I was going to do. What happened to all your other swimsuits? I know that's not your only one. Because I forgot my dice. I managed to grab them. I looked away and shrugged. I might have some laundry to do. So that's so typical of, I wouldn't say boys, just males in general. They tend to lack off when it comes to chores, well, certain chores. Anyways, I don't know why it was in the bathroom and I never put it there. Gave a small smile and readjusted the towel in a bun. You now could see that it had been folded at some point, but then rolled up and carried without much care. That's about right.
I'm so glad.
I'm just glad I found it. It would have been crappy to lose my favorite trunk. Nice to see Cove so happy and comfortable in what he was wearing. He looked over to your dresser and mused about how you had picked out your own swimsuit. Your height complicated shopping a little. Not all suits were made to properly fit people like you. None for the shape of your body. I have a similar problem in that I am very short and not even 5 feet tall. So I'm not sure what that would be in meters. Why am I sticking on these things? But yeah, I'm very short, but not petite. I have a big booty thanks to my grandfather's side of the family. Oh, cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 0. Since we're doing a D10. Yes, you were heavy set. And those full muscles, low muscle definition, body was soft, body was delicate. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Your body was delicate. There was fragility to your build. Let's be careful with it. You weren't as muscular as you used to be. Your lifestyle had changed since the way it had when you were younger.
Are you okay?
You alright? Oh, yeah, I was just thinking about some things. What things? Just myself and my body, really. I rose at your admission of self-reflection. And what do you think? What did you think of who you were? You considered your identity further. Oh, cool. So you can still be uncertain of your identity, even at 18, because sometimes it just takes a while to figure this shit out. It wasn't a single binary choice you made, but you were you, and that was all that mattered. And you had a flat chest that would never develop breasts because of the hormone therapy you started in the past. That's it like that, but we're considering options for it. You're okay with how it was, but not so okay that potential changes weren't on your mind. People have a lot of their identity wrapped up in a physical form. It shapes their self-image. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now the reason that I'm rolling a D10 instead of like a D5 is because there is no such thing as a D5. Or, well, they are, but I don't have one. 3. You were really content with yours. There were things you didn't like. You didn't hate it per se, but it wasn't all that you wanted it to be either. You've pretty much always been unhappy with your body. Even when you were younger, it felt off, and that still hadn't changed. You didn't feel like who you wanted to be. Focus on Cove again. Now that you untilted his head, a question still in his eyes. He was very free to come to an answer, but before you could, you had something to say to him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4. What do you think about me? About how I look, I mean. Cove frowned, his eyebrows furrowed in concern, as if he were trying to find the best words to say. His eyes formed like he was looking at something truly special. Jules, you were wonderful. No matter what anybody thinks, you, me, anyone, you are so wonderful. This can't be helped. It's a fact of life. He'll stop speaking and look at you for a moment. He kissed his feet as he considered something, and then nodded with a thoughtful expression on his face. He stared forward and directly met your eyes. I've known you for a long time. Since we were kids, you know. I've seen you just about every day for the past decade. So I think it's fair for me to say this.
It's nice.
Each day you're different from before, just by a little bit. But you're also still the same. You're always you. It's nice. You keep developing as a person. I had actually kind of forgotten about that hormone therapy thing because we've been playing this over the course of several weeks. It's easy for me to forget stuff, and I'm not writing it down like I have with other games. I do want you to keep being you, but the only one who gets to decide who that is you. You choose who you are today. You get to choose who you are tomorrow. That's okay with me. One, two, three, four. 4. Didn't know how to react to that. No one's came to mind. How is anyone supposed to respond to that declaration?
Hey.
Jules? Jules gave a bent smile, pointing to your arms. You're looking particularly shapely today. It's answered not with words, but I saw an okay sign with both hands and the same cheeky smile. You were a little taken aback. That came out of nowhere. You glanced at yourself. You like that? Yeah. Let's attend him. You went across your room and flung your arms around Cove. He chuckled back nervously after you'd gotten his squeeze in. You were putting those nice arms to good use. You cackled at his joke and hugged him tighter. When you both had gotten your giggles out, you let him go. Finally, you felt that was enough of that topic for one day. Move back to your original goal before you got sidetracked. You need to pick what you wanted to wear to the beach. This is a good question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Trying to decide how to do this. Let's skip the casual clothes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2-piece bikini. While you dug around in your drawers, you tried to think if there's anything else you were missing. Sunglasses. Okay. We're gonna go back. I thought we could pick some other one. Because we're gonna grab a cover up because depending on how long they're at the beach, you make it cold. With that taken care of, you helped your outfit together and let to go. You established toes on the side of the wall situated. You vaguely wondered if you thought that was a comfortable place to sit. You hoped so, given how long you perched on it. Regardless, it was time for him to go. You weren't going to put on your beach wear with him just chilling there. Well, I'm gonna change, so how about you wait outside? Cove nodded reassuringly. All right. Cove lowered himself out the windowsill and walked by you to get to the door. He lightly patted you on your arm.
Bye.
I'll see you out front. Okay. When you were alone, you got undressed and put your swimwear on. You also checked your beach bag for the final time, and it seemed like you hadn't forgotten anything. You left your room and hurried down the stairs right to meet Cove. You made sure to lock your front door and walked outside. Go sit on the road, looking down and scuffing your seat on the asphalt. When you shut your heavy door, she looked up at you and smiled. Hey. Hi. Miranda and Tara are going to be here in not too long. Tara even texted me earlier, saying she's mostly on schedule.
Well...
We would just head to the beach and wait for them there. We're both ready. That sounded like a good idea to you. Said as much, and Cove shot off a quick text telling the two of them where you'd be. Cove gave you a thumbs up after the next sent. Familiar path to walk, and it wasn't long until you reached the shore. Cove laid out his towel on the warm sand. He tucked his chest beside him and looked out into the ocean. Flowing swells at the shore rhythmically. Oh, I wish we was closer to the beach. Maybe not that close, but definitely closer. But it's more expensive. We don't have that kind of money. My mom's grandparents lived on the beach. And so she visited them occasionally. She even got their car when she got her license, and the windshield was pitted from the sand blowing and stuff. And her dad didn't want to get it fixed, but eventually something happened, and basically she ended up getting a fixed ticket from the police. But her dad kept saying, yeah, no, it doesn't need work, and she got to fix the ticket, and showed it to him, and she's like, see? So they replaced the windshield. Anywho, you all had lucked out. It was a beautiful day. The sky was clear and the waves were good. It was a balmy summer day, but with a pleasant breeze to keep things comfortable. Essentially, it was perfect.
So?
Do you feel like heading into the water? Maybe just walk down the shore? Or would you want to do something here? One second, I'll roll a dice. Okay, 4 options. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see if I get something besides 4, because I rolled a 4 twice on this thing. Oh, I got a 3. Just going to just get some sun. Pointed at the towel you had carefully placed on the sand. You're going to be staying here. So nodded, accepting of the plan. Take some sand off his towel and I took mine in it. Yeah, sounds nice. He took a deep breath and tasted the relaxing, salty air. So caught your eye and gave you a small smile. He chatted a little before a comfortable quiet settled over the two of you. Content to watch the waves as you waited for the others. Luckily, it didn't take long until you heard shouts. You turned your head to see both Miranda and Terry running straight for you. Miranda was faster, making leaps and bounds across the sand. Terry followed in her wake, laughing with the towel clutched around her shoulders and flowing like a cape. Miranda started making her jumps more theatric and more precarious as she got closer. Cove waved them on with a bright grin. Let's cheer their antics. Woo! The two officially arrived at Cove Holden setup, looking completely ready for an ocean adventure. They were already in their swimwear and were ready to go. Hey, Terry and Miranda, welcome to our beach.
Hey!
Hi! Hello, hello! She beamed and Miranda nodded with a smile. I wonder if that hello is a reference to the nanny. There's a character that visited, who's basically the business partner to the man who hired the nanny. And she would always come over and announce her arrival with a hello, hello. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I am so pumped. Yeah, I'm really glad this worked out. What have you guys been up to over here in your town? Cove? Jules? Have we missed things? Cove blinked and then shrugged when nothing he wanted to mention came to mind. What is east and middle 2? I'm not sure which one. 1, 2, 3, 4. One. He gave a vague answer. Just stuff, nothing too interesting.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. looked skeptical but dropped it. She then started talking about her morning and how she'd almost overslept and she had stayed up too late last night. She bounced on her feet as she spoke. But don't worry about me being tired today. You know I ran on West back during school. Oh yeah, I remember those days. Miranda filled in the group about her morning. Apparently everything had gone smoothly. She'd met up with Terry on the way here and you knew the rest. Cove offered a suggestion to the girls. Hey, you guys should lay out your towels. We can relax.
Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love Miranda's suit. That is just so cute. I would never wear it, but it looks so adorable on her, and it suits her personality so much. But I also like Terry's too. That's just really cool. You felt pleased that Cove remembered what you wanted to do. Sometimes you could be thoughtful like that. Terry and Miranda settled down on their towels. It took a little arranging, but soon you were on your back and soaking up the sun. Miranda had built up a small ridge of sand as a backrest, and Terry laid on her side facing the rest of the group. She drew everyone into an involved conversation over the merits of ice and a drink. The sun above was almost hypnotizing with its warmth. Every one of your previously tense muscles relaxed into jelly. You closed your eyes, content to just be. Hours passed and the group had moved between different activities, some low-key and some more exotic. Yeah, for me, I'm very pale, so I would burn so easily, so I would have to remember sunblock. The good about applying it before I go somewhere, like the beach or the pool, and really bad about remembering to reapply it later. I've gotten really bad sunburns because of that. Like, second degree sunburn. So you have to be careful. I didn't know you could get second-degree burns just from the sun. It was another break time. You sat on your towel and sipped with some water. Your friends were hard at work burying Terry's full body under a pile. Miranda used her arms to force up sand around Terry's sides. You worked on covering Terry's feet. You took another drink and closed your eyes. Eventually, a shadow passed over you, dancing the light that was still noticeable even behind your eyelids. Checked to see Cove had joined you there. He knelt down to dig around in the pile of assorted beach stuff in the middle of everyone's towels set up and pulled up the sunscreen. Took a seat next to you on his towel. He opened the bottle with a soft top and began to reapply the cream. I love the little anchor. I love that I picked that. Yay. Hey. You finished up, Cove let out a comfortable sigh and looked off into the distance. But then he sighed again, this time in an exaggeratedly disappointed way. He wondered if he was going to sigh again, even more dramatically, if he didn't say anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4, 0. There it is. Ah! Dropped it. So, didn't drop it. File. Where'd it go? There it is. I can't tell. I'll throw it again. Ah! But that was quite a bounce that it took. 5. Oh, Cove, whatever it is, it's going to be okay. After all, this is an excellent place to hide a body. You gestured to Terry, who was practically just a hill of sand with a human head at this point. That got a quick chuckle out of him, but he quickly hid his amusement. Cove shook his head, comically despondent. His frown didn't match the sparkle in his eyes.
Don't worry about it.
I'm just becoming another jaded adult, that's all. Now you were really confused. You waited for him to continue, and his next sigh did not disappoint. It's the most ridiculously sad sigh you had ever heard. Then he smiled a little. Mermaids aren't real. What? That had not been what you were expecting, he continued. I'm assuming there's a point to this. You know how much I liked mermaids as a kid? Well, merfolk as a whole. I really hoped that they were out there.
I mean...
The ocean's a big place, right? It could be somewhere. But the older I got, the more I had to accept it. They were just a fairy tale. Jerked his head over to the waterline and the rolling waves, crashed against the shore, and then drew back. This is a perfect beach for them. It's pretty and vast, it's never too crowded. And the merfolk did exist. You definitely would have met one by now. Or at least you would have heard of someone else seeing one. But nothing. He acted as though that result was a true bafflement. He let his head hang. I gotta let the dream go. He pretended to be shocked and disappointed. What? Mermaids? Weren't real? You looked at him and tried to get fake tears to start welling up in your eyes. I can't believe it. Cove chuckled a little to himself, eyes tilted off into the sea, his face still low. Maybe it's for the best. Let's say a merperson did happen to wash up on shore one day. He looked at you with a sorrowful expression. I could have lost my best friend to the magical underwater world. Yeah, I'd go with the merperson, but only if you could come with us too. Cove grinned. He hadn't expected that answer. You're a nice person, Jules. What if they didn't want me? Would you seriously stay on land? You gave him a look. You meant what you had said. It'd only work if the offer was for both of you. Are you sure that's the right call? It's a beautiful, kind merperson like somebody. I'm pretty positive that the sensible response isn't to turn around and say, no thanks, I'm going to stay on land with a normal guy. Are you worried that you'd leave if you got that kind of offer? Why are you so sure you'd have to make that call? If this is all hypothetical, why not have you be the merperson? I don't want that. I should get to be a mer creature, and then I'd invite you to the underwater world. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. Why are you so sure you'd have to make that call? Really, Jules? If a merperson could magically appear, it'd be you they'd call for. That's definitely not the question here. Okay. I need to pause real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. You were completely flattered by how highly he thought of you. Then you heard Miranda screech. Your attention immediately switched over to your friends. You saw that Terry had gotten impatient and shifted her legs. The walls Miranda had been meticulously building collapsed into a wet heap of sand. She surveyed the damage critically. You have to start over on that part. Do you just want to give up on this now?
No way.
The burial must continue. I'll try not to move anymore. Okay, if you're sure, I'll try to fix this. Miranda started to rebury her, and Terry shot her a thumbs up. She realized too late that moving her arm was a bad idea. More of the sand on her crumbled, then Miranda put her head in her hands. Cove caught your eye and started to drag himself up. Seems like we're needed. You agreed and followed him over to the girls. Miranda nodded at you both with appreciation, and the three of you did your best to finish the job. You all worked out a system of using just enough wet sand to help hold the rest together. With 3 people, it didn't take long for Terry to be entombed. Terry grinned massively and Miranda offered high fives. The pile was officially done. Oh yeah! Summoned the Kool-Aid Man, she kicked herself out of the ground with gusto. Sand went flying in all directions, and Terry's ship's imprint was left behind. Miranda yelled again and Cove chuckled. There probably wasn't a better way to get out of it. The 4 of you continued to have a good time. You went on a shell hunt. Miranda managed to find the biggest, while you found the most powerful, some kind of tiny crab. You did a bit of everything. There were impromptu games to just soaking up each other's company. However, after a while, you all had run out of water, drinkable water, anyway. Yeah. It was decided that you'd head to yours or Cove's house. Things were gathered and you started to cheerfully walk up the road. What next? You don't have anywhere to go, so it could be whatever. Same, I guess I can keep hanging out? Very smart and readjusted her grip on her things. Don't sound too sure there, Cove. By this point, you could see your house. It hadn't taken you long to make the trip. Conversation continued with everyone throwing out suggestions. Are people hungry? She looked him face to face in inspection. Cove and Miranda shrugged in concert. No one was overtly opposed to it. However, you weren't really starving. It wasn't quite a mealtime. You could get dessert. Miranda put a finger to her lip and sighed. With a smile, her voice became more confident. Yeah, that would be fun. Terry considered it and then shot Miranda a thumbs up.
Sure.
Sounds great to me. I can definitely go for that. I think that's a good idea. Yeah, there's something to eat at my house. The friends glanced at Cove in his place. He shook his head immediately. Dad doesn't have anything good either. I mean, unless you want dessert-flavored protein shakes? Ew, no. She guided and held her hands up, just trying to ward off something evil. Cove smirked.
Not bad.
It's not that bad.
Nope. Well,
there has to be some kind of sweet shop around here. Let's look it up. Terry nodded and started to dig around in her bag. I like the way you think. Terry continued to rummage in her bag and grew increasingly frustrated. She popped out her cheeks and knelt down, setting the bag on the ground. With both hands free, she was finally able to fish out her phone. She raised it up in triumph for a brief moment of celebration.
I'm on it.
I'll search for something good. Terry got back to her feet, hugging the bag over one arm, tapping away at her screen in the other. But she assessed Cove from top to bottom. No shirt, no shoes, no service. Cove glanced down his bare chest and feet, having not even registered it prior. He chuckled a little. I'll grab something. Cove moved over to his house. He looked towards yours. Let's change as well. I feel like you would be more comfortable with something more streetwear than beachwear. You inclined your head over to the side. I'm going to change too.
Sure.
Go for it. We'll wait. Miranda nodded with a smile. Ran to your house. No one was home, so you just rushed to your room and dropped off your beach stuff on your bed. Yeah, completely changed. You stripped and found a suitable outfit to hang out in. You slipped it on and felt satisfied with your decision. With that, you sped back outside. Cove was already there and gathered around Terry's phone with the girls. You'd opted to just add a shirt and shoes, apparently putting in the minimum effort for service. Hello again.
Hey.
You don't really want ice cream, do you? I didn't have a chance to answer. She kept caroling through with her words. Because I'm not into that right now. Don't mind her. You look nice, by the way. Terry scrolled further and then made an interested exclamation. Oh, what about this place? They sell crepes. That's something you don't see every day. Look how fancy they are. She shoved her phone into her face. It seemed like a cute shop. It didn't show any pictures of the actual building, but the food seemed good. It was one of those places that put a lot of effort into presentation with branded wrapping for the crepes and well-applied toppings.
Huh.
Weird. I've never heard of it. I haven't either. It's serious. The crepes are so good. She nodded her approval as Terry admired more of the photos. I'd go. It's not too far, but we could drive. Terry cheered at the success of the plan made, and you all walked around to Cove's car. You had to run inside once more to grab its keys. You noticed the thing was standing up in Cove's car. It had probably been a while since he'd washed it. With a smirk, you carefully wrote, "Wash me," with your finger.
Very nice.
Good work. I wonder if he's even going to notice. The car beeped and unlocked. Cove ran up to you with his car keys in hand. His head slipped into his face and he brushed it back. Shotgun! She clambered into the passenger seat without hesitation. You didn't argue and climbed to the back with Miranda. Terry activated the directions on her phone map and acted as the navigator, directing Cove to the crypt. The GPS tried to get Cove to turn into a non-existent road once and wanted him to do a U-turn instead of just using a left turn, but Terry looking at the actual path, it went smooth enough. Oh yeah. Been there, done that. It's like, why? GPS, go home, you're drunk. You were led to a small stall in a parking lot rather than a full building. That explained why there had been pictures of the crape's interior, and why it was new to you despite living in this town your entire life. It was a completely new structure that popped up recently. There was a window you could walk up to and one for cars to drive up to. So Park was alive.
Come on.
I don't think I needed to put on a shirt for this, but I still want to try it. Let's go.
What?
Do you not trust us to eat in your car? She gestured to the drive-thru option. Cove shook his head with a snort. I trust some people here, maybe. But would it be more fun to actually check it out? Everyone acknowledged his point and filed out. Terry tried to tease Cove a little, but Miranda started talking about the last time she had crepes. Apparently they'd been at dessert explosion topped with multiple chocolates, powdered sugar, what Miranda was pretty sure had to be fake icing cake. I mean, it probably felt cake to some people. That's sweet. Literally.
So great.
It was so good, but I regretted it so much. I couldn't finish it, and I really tried. You can do it this time, Randy. There were some laughs when you got up to the menu. You realized that there were more than just crepes. There were definitely crepes, many crepes. However, the stall also had a lot of different drinks as well. Teas, smoothies, milkshakes.
Woo!
Jackpot! She grinned and held out her fist for a fist bump. Miranda high-fived it. The two stared at the awkward, vaguely turkey-shaped configuration they had made, slowly put their hands down. Cove's mouth twisted a smile. Stepped up to order first. She glanced back at the menu. Let's order both. Oh, I'd like to get a crepe and a drink, please. There's a woman who looked a little older than you taking the order. She smiled back at you, ready to hear the specifics of your purchase. The crepes itself you wanted, if it were me, I would go for chocolate, but this is not me. That's the whole point of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 0. I don't think it actually was a 0. That almost felt, but I caught it, but it was 10. 2. Strawberry. For the filling and toppings, you picked, oh boy, well, we're getting a strawberry crepe, so strawberries. Wait, mixed berries. There we go. Whipped cream. And chocolate chips. And that was all. If you picked this size, you were asked what you wanted to drink. You ordered ice cream tea, black tea, milk tea, iced coffee, strawberry smoothie, banana smoothie, mango smoothie, coffee frappe, a soda, milkshake, and chocolate milkshake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 0. 10. A strawberry smoothie. You go with the strawberry grape. We're in a strawberry mood, apparently. You could also add in a mix of toppings for the drink. Condensed milk. And that was it. You paid and set aside to what your friends ordered. We've got a lemon crepe with powdered sugar on top and mixed berries. Just got a plain strawberry smoothie. Terry went crazy with toppings. Although she ordered a plain crepe, she had it smothered with whipped cream, cream cheese, chocolate chips, chocolate syrup, and bananas. Miranda opted for a frappe with caramel syrup and condensed milk. The four of you stood off to the side as you waited for your treat. I heard what you ordered, Jules. Glad I'm not the only one to go for a drink and a crepe. I can't pick just one, and why not? Exactly. It's a new experience. Enjoy it. Exactly. It's going to be good. Jules, man, your crepe is going to rock. High five for topping appreciation. She held her hand out expectantly. Give her the high five. He hit her hand with the satisfying snack. Order for Jules. Oh, I've got to get that. You grabbed your order. Those didn't take much time after that. With the goods collected, everyone admired their treat. Terry dug right into hers, and Miranda gave hers a tentative sip. Terry nodded acceptingly with her mouth completely full. Miranda tilted the frappe over to her with a grin. Terry sipped it and clearly loved it. She raised her crepe over to Miranda. You could tell that there was an attempt to make it look nice. With all this sort of toppings piled on, only so much could be done. Miranda took a huge bite with gusto and sighed happily. Terry seemed satisfied and took another slurp from Miranda's drink. They had both only gotten one thing, probably because they knew they'd end up sharing. I went over to you, and there was definite interest in his eyes at your order. I want to try yours. You can have some if you share, too. With a nod, he passed the smoothie first, and then you had to rearrange what was in your hands and take his crepe as well. Handed him your order, and he smiled eagerly. There was an explosion of fruit. The crepe was both tart and sweet, while the strawberry smoothie helped you wash it down. You both exchanged your treats back after a small sampling. Cove gave you an approving grin. With that, Cove started to eat his treats in earnest. You saw him take a huge gulp of his smoothie, and then without swallowing, he added a bite of his lemon crepe. His habit of mixing foods together wasn't anything new. He hummed in satisfaction, so you guessed he must have liked the combined flavors. Cove? Terry tore off a piece of her crepe and held it up to Cove.
So?
Care to make a drink? Sure. Instead of continuing to loiter in the parking lot, the four of you started to walk down the sidewalk. There was a lot of sharing going on, with crepe clips and toppings being passed around. You wouldn't have been surprised if Terry ended up drinking more frappe than Miranda did. He kept going down the way, eating, drinking, and chatting. You hadn't just realized just how far the group had wandered until you ended up with now weeping side. Apparently you were about to just walk right out into the middle of nowhere. Terry took her mouth off of Miranda's straw and stopped sipping the frappe. Impossible! Preposterous! How are we already at the end? I always forget how tiny this town really is. Phil chuckled a little and swallowed a chunk of Terry's crepe.
I guess.
It kinda is, huh? It did feel that small when we were growing up. 2, 3, 4, 5. You guys are lucky to live in decent-sized cities. I got distracted. Bigger cities had advantages. They had more places, more varied shops, and stores open later. Everybody knew everyone, and you could get away with being anonymous. Sunset Bird doesn't seem so bad. I guess this means we should probably head back. One doesn't just walk into nowhere land. We're not only one Terry, there's 4 of us. Terry scratched up her face, not wanting to acknowledge the bad joke. She decided to ignore it. This thing's having to go all the way back. Yeah, but it's not like there's anything out that direction. If we did keep going forward, it'd be an even longer trip home. He stared off into the stretch of road as Cove agreed that he didn't want to go out any further. Can we take a break here first before we turn around? We've been walking for a while, and someone finished my drink. Right after you, Terry slowly sat there with the straw. It was so good. Miranda looked at her, but Terry remained unrepentant. In the end, though, it was agreed to hang around the side before heading back to the car. Then take lunch and finish the rest of the food and drink. Everyone gathered up the trash and stuffed it into bags and pockets for now. The group relaxed on the grass, keeping a count of all the cars that drove past. It was not a high number. 14. The newest second car drove into town from somewhere outside. But as the vehicle came by, it slowed down and you watched as it ultimately rolled to a complete stop. black car parked right by the now leaving sign. Everyone exchanged a baffled look. But then the tinted window rolled down and his driver peered out. As soon as he saw his head, he recognized him. No one else he knew presented themselves so distinctively. Hey, neighbors! Hope openly sighed when he recognized him after reflecting sulkily at the straw of his long, empty drink. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Five. Hey! You inhaled and tried to be loud enough to account for the distance and car noises. It's nice to see you again. Somehow he was able to project his voice in such a way that it still sounded smooth, even though he was definitely speaking loudly. He wondered where he'd learned to do that. And he thought about the odd picture that made a fancy black car and pulled over to talk to a group of teens mostly still in beach wear. Miranda was incredibly confused and shrank back to watch. Terry tilted her head in an unspoken question. Phil made a quick gesture pointing toward Baxter, and a light bulb went off for Terry.
All right.
Yeah, that's the new person in the condo, the B-man, right? Yeah, Baxter. Oh, I wasn't sure if I'd ever actually see him. Her voice was quiet. Miranda usually got shy around new people. Terry was quite the opposite. Incredible! This is perfect! Terry hopped out from the grass and ran to Baxter's car, all full of excitement. Behind her, Miranda picked herself up and dusted imaginary dirt off her clothes. She then, searching Lucky and Cove, switched Cove said. Miranda nodded, and with clenched fists, hesitantly followed Terry. Terry bent down to talk to Baxter through his window. She blasted through introductions with Miranda putting on a shy wave. Cove looked at you. He still clearly had no intention of going over. I went over to Baxter. Cove waited in the grass without another word. He joined the other two and stood next to Baxter's car. He smiled genially at you.
Nice to see you.
Jules, it is very nice to see you once more. He gestured to Miranda and Terry. I just rented this car for my stay here. I was coming back from a bit of sightseeing when I spotted your crowd. And these two were kindly introducing themselves.
Uh-huh.
Yep, it's only polite. Speaking of polite, since you know us, you should give us a ride. Terry? The voice was whispered, baritone was clear. This is not Miranda approved. What? Then we won't have to walk back to the parking lot. I'll take care of it. Miranda bit her lip. Terry, clearly not seeing the problem, pointed at Miranda and turned back to Baxter. You're gonna make a cute girl trash down this empty road, right? Look at her. Baxter did. Miranda smiled uncomfortably and he grinned playfully.
I can do that.
Of course not. Consider me at your service. Yes. She spun around and tried to escape Cove over. You could tell from his face that he was already alarmed. Get over here. Baxter's giving us a ride. You could make out his frown in the distance. However, he did start to drag himself out of the grass. You were just happy to get a ride. Regardless of anything else, you didn't want to have to walk back. That's what counted. You were grateful to Terry for arranging it. Miranda looked down and put on a polite smile.
Oh.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Terry did have a point. It would have been inconsiderate to abandon you here, and after all, your company is a favor to me. Miranda laughed a little, and Terry flung an arm over Miranda's shoulder with a big grin. Seeing her reactions, he made a point to search for yours, too. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Fine. You frowned. He stepped up to the car, his expression inscrutable. Hello. Hi. Alrighty, plan made. Let's hop in. You excitedly opened the passenger side door and buckled yourself in. The car was pristine, and you were right near the new car-scented air freshener. What are you trying to do here? The frown isn't... Okay. Let's go to platter. Okay. Alright, fine, let's hop in. You excitedly opened the passenger side door. Okay, to that. Baxter had the air conditioner on cold but low, so it was pleasantly cool inside. Nice relief from the summer sun you had been baking in all day. The friends clambered on in the back. It definitely seemed the slightest bit squished back there.
Does that sound alright?
Welcome to my vehicle. I hope everyone is comfortable, and if someone could point me in the right direction, we can be on our way. Terry went back to navigator mode and outlined the journey. It was basically a straight line with one turn at the end. Parking lot. Baxter ran from up in the driver's seat and pulled back into the road. Luckily, the street was still dead empty. It took no time at all for Baxter to park right next to Cove's car. There wasn't even enough time for a proper conversation to start. Baxter didn't seem to mind. There were smiles all around when Baxter parked next to Cove's car. I'm sure Cove was just relieved to get away from Baxter. I can definitely see Cove being a little more jealous if there's more than friendship between the two of you by that point. Woo! Miranda clapped quietly as Terry cheered. Cove chuckled nervously. He leaned over the divider and gave Baxter a light-hearted push on the shoulder. He hadn't been expecting it, but quickly laughed and smiled at you. The celebration seemed to amuse him. We've arrived. That was easy. Terry flung open her door and climbed out.
Thanks.
Everyone else exited the car as well. The group thanked Baxter with varying degrees of enthusiasm. Baxter himself got out too. I like that Miranda and Terry are very different personality-wise from you and Cove, and even from, you're kind of and even from Lee and Derek. Like, there's definitely distinct personalities going on with each character, and I really appreciate that. Everyone congregated again in front of Baxter's and Cove's cards. Cove looked at the back of his and frowned. He finally discovered the wash me he'd put on it. I wonder who did that. He snickered along with Miranda, who realized he'd been caught.
Ooh.
It's a mystery. Right. Terry bounced over to Baxter and offered her hand for a handshake. He accepted it easily with a charming smile. You're a pal. You're too kind. There was no trouble whatsoever. I'll be keeping this car all this summer. If it suits you, you're welcome to take my number and give me a ring whenever you're in need of another ride. And that goes for everyone here. I have a car, really, since we're standing right by it. But it could break down, you know. Terry busted into laughter and Miranda fidgeted. She did not know what to do with that. Baxter really went fast, didn't he? He noticed her discomfort and smiled with a soft tilt of the head. I'd be happy to help again, but that's the only reason I offered. If you don't need it, you can pass on it. Can I have your number? He beamed widely at your response. Yes, I am kind of seeing where this goes.
Absolutely.
Baxter pulled out a pen he had with him for some reason and jotted his number down. He passed a little paper to you, and you accepted. Some people just happen to carry a writing instrument with them. I always have a couple pens and a pencil in my purse, and I know my dad always keeps a pen in his shirt pocket because he wears t-shirts with pockets because he smokes. So he uses that pocket for his cigarettes and a pen. But that way you know that you'll always have a pen to hand regardless of what's going on. When a giggle subsided, Terry put a hand to her chin with brows furrowed. I wonder, would that option be available right now? You could valet us somewhere cool.
What?
Cove was taken aback. He put a hand on the hood of his car. We're going back to the neighborhood? Wasn't Baxter going back to the neighborhood too? Why would we go somewhere else? Because we can. Miranda squirmed nervously and then committed to typing up.
Maybe?
You should go to the park near my place. It's a really nice place to hang out. You and Cove shared a look. This park was pretty nice. Let's do it. Baxter tapped the side of his face and thought.
It's doable.
That sounds doable. Glanced at Cove and then switched focus to you.
Well,
we have two cars. If some people want to go to the park, I could still take the others home. But if everyone's going, it wouldn't make sense for me not to. I still want to hang out with my friends. You weren't ready to check out yet. You came to a decision, turned to Cove. Let's go to the park. All right, park time it is. He smiled a little. Terry cheered, and Miranda nodded happily. You felt like you made a good decision.
Yeah.
To the car! Again! Which car? There are multiple. He watched to see if Cove or Baxter had an answer. Cove sighed and ran a hand through his hair. He tapped on his car's head nervously.
I guess.
We can go in Baxter's, I guess. It'll be left to explain them bringing them both. We're all going to the same place. Are you okay with that, Baxter? Certainly, I meant what I said. When you need a lift, I can give it. Neither you nor Terry brought up any objections until the gang climbed back into Baxter's nice ride. This time, Baxter offered to turn on some music, after all, it would be a little bit of a drive to his park. Can you see what's on the radio? We can. Baxter pressed the button on the dash, and pop music started blaring. He carefully turned the volume dial down so that it was low enough to talk over. He reached over to switch the station, but then he noticed Terry was already rocking out. He dropped his hand and placed it back on the steering wheel. I love this song.
Me too.
He smiled at the girls and then started checking his mirrors. The music taken care of, he put the car into drive and started driving to the park. The parking lot was practically empty, but he noticed that he was careful anyways. It took a while to arrive. By the time he got there, the sky was golden with the orange streaks of sunshine. Everyone got out of the car and started to stroll along one of the paths. He walked by the basketball court and some picnic tables sitting in the sights. Miranda seemed amazingly content, the location helping her to relax in the company. She led the way, sometimes stopping here and there to point something out. Max turned to her and nodded along.
Not bad.
I've never been here, but I definitely see the appeal. Man, this is Randy's stomping ground. She's been coming here forever. Seriously, Miranda, have you ever had a birthday party that wasn't here? You've missed out, Baxter, because every year she has a blow-up party at the park. Imagine balloons everywhere. Miranda looked down, feeling shy again with attention on her. She let out an awkward laugh. Yep, every year. Actually, my birthday is where I first started to really get to know Cove and Jules. She smiled and then pointed to a white flat spot on the grass. Remember the bounce house? I remember. He chuckled and you could practically see the old memories on his face. It was a party for the ages. You were great. I miss parties like that. Everyone is too cool for bounce houses. Drew followed Miranda onto one of the picnic tables. She took a seat and Terry slid in beside her. He spent the evening chatting amongst each other. Everyone got to know Baxter a little better, although you could tell Cove and him still hadn't fully clicked. At one point, Miranda found an abandoned soccer ball and started passing it around. Me! Miranda threw the ball to her. Terry caught it with a smile. Think fast. She checked it at Baxter, who only had enough time to squeak. Bounce off his chest and stared at it, dazed. He blinked as if he needed time to process what exactly had happened, but then grinned dangerously. He rushed after the ball and ran and threw it back to surprise Terry and everyone else by lobbing the ball high into the air. He bent your neck back to watch his descent and inevitable decline. Baxter hooked it with his foot and launched it up again. There were oohs and ahs from Terry and Miranda. Baxter gave them a very pleasant eye. When it finally fell to the ground for real, Cove was the one who picked it up. He was impressed and he wanted in. With that, everyone was drawn to the game. It was unspoken that whoever did the fanciest trick won. Most of the game was not particularly practiced with throwing a ball. She not many of the tricks were actually good. However, there was a lot of laughter. You got to see Miranda pull off a Randolph where she threw the ball with her feet, so that was cool. The sunset eventually darkened into night and the streetlights turned on. The rich chosen picnic table laid in a bubble of light. The occasional bugs cast a shadow as they flew by. It's a little strange being here so late on a normal night. Usually that only happens if there was a party or an important game or a fireworks show. Fireworks! Her yell startled Baxter, who was throwing up the ball nonchalantly from hand to hand, missed catching it, and then sailed sadly back to the ground. He looked at Terry for a while afterwards. I just remembered, there's going to be a fireworks show tonight. It's in the city. At everyone's questioning look, she helped him try to explain further. It's in celebration for the opening of something. I don't remember what. I don't think we could get into the actual event anyways.
Hell yeah!
But we would still be able to see the show if we get close. You can't keep explosions in the sky away from the public. Cove raised an eyebrow and dragged his fingers from the table below him. You want to change locations again? Wasn't the last 2 times enough? Terry rolled her eyes and then shook her head. To her, it was obvious. Don't be a wet blanket, Cove. What about you, Jules, Randy, Baxter? Don't you want to see fireworks? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2. That's right. That's too much. Maybe if we planned it earlier, Terry. Sounded apologetic, but Terry waved him off, unbothered. Time to call it a night. The group migrated over to the car safely. Everyone climbed in and backed to start up the engine. Tried to relax as the car pulled out towards him. You probably recalled before now that this originally started as a day out at the beach, despite your friends still being dressed for it. So much else had happened, and it was a fun day. So you're doing taking it easy. Okay. That was a lot to do. Probably would have lasted longer if we did treat the fireworks, but Okay, so considering how long that was, I probably only have enough time for one more. Errands. From the moment you woke up, you knew that today was going to be busier than usual. There was a list of errands that needed to be finished before the day was done. First up was visiting one of the biggest farmers markets in the area. It was only open 2 weekends a month during certain parts of the year. It was rare that you and your family were able to attend, so your mom liked to make the most out of every minute of it. And you realized it was not just them feeling that way when you heard a whistle from your left side. Wow, this is a swanky show. Vegetables I've never seen so highbrow. Seriously, they don't mess around with their products.
Isn't that great?
Isn't it exciting? And like the adults look different as you get older. Liz crossed her arms. You could tell she was amused. You couldn't have picked a more perfect trip. It's been too long since we've had a true family outing. The TV sound said more than she actually did. Your next-door neighbors had joined you this day, and that's what made it a true family outing. Your parents laughed approvingly. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught Cove looking at you sympathetically. Some things never change, and some jokes never did. Died. You'd long accepted that. One, two, three, four, five, six. You thought this trip might be fun. You smiled, trying to imagine how many stalls were set up. You were curious what hidden gems were waiting for you to discover among them. Since I live in a very urban area, there's no farmers market near where I live. The closest we get is a swap meet. Well, I'm ready to get started. I've got plenty of dishes in mind I could use ingredients for. Before your moms responded to that, they glanced at each other and smiled. Yes, that's a very good idea, Cliff. This place is much larger than it seems. It's difficult to visit each part in a single day.
I got it.
I'm sure we can make a decent dent together at least. Actually, since there's so many of us, this time we could take different sides of the market.
Sounds good.
Divide and conquer, eh? That sounds brilliant. Everyone watched your mom surprised. No one had considered that an option, but your mom flashed the group a dazzling smile, continuing with the thought. Only, it's a little unfair that there are 4 Hunt family members and only 2 Holdens here, so I'll go with you boys to even out the odds.
Okay.
That's fine with me. He scratched the back of his neck awkwardly. He wasn't sure where to look or what to say. That was not a problem his son had.
No.
I don't like that idea. Don't worry, we'll be apart for only a few hours, and then we'll have something to talk about at the end of it. After the additional nudging, Cove nodded with a sigh. He realized this wasn't an argument he was going to win.
All right.
All right, I don't get the point, but I'll still mind spending the first part of the trip with Jules and Ma. Ma clapped her hands together at that. Wonderful. Are the teams ready to go? Yeah, let's go. Delighted Ma hooked an arm around you and a little side hug. He grinned.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jules. Taking a lead, Ma walked over towards Cove and Cliff, who were still eyeing her confusedly.
Let's go.
Come on, boys. We're heading up. Sure. Okay. He looked at you sadly, found himself pulled forward, stopping in front of you. His expression flickered for a moment, hesitant.
Bye.
Bye. Only he switched slightly, his whole body getting stiff. He jerked his gaze back to your mom, and you realized that she had grabbed the hem of his shirt. She gave it a small tug before letting go. Hands away, Cove, and I've known you long enough to be aware that you're one to linger. If I don't stop you now, you'll only drag your feet on parting ways more. The two of you could survive one morning apart, probably. We have important shopping to do now. Cove gasped at what he thought was a truly obscene thing to say. His face burned red, but that was ignored by him. He spoke with an unimpressed roll of his eyes.
Seriously?
You don't need to literally pull me away from Jules. I'm not that clingy. Mom figured with a shake of her head. Cove's eyebrows raised over the reaction, then he turned to Mom. She wouldn't meet his eyes as she whistled innocently. His head ear to ear, and Cove whipped his head towards his dad. Mr. Holden couldn't offer anything more than a apologetic shrug. It was only then that it dawned on Cove that everyone didn't think that he was that needy. That everyone did think that he was that needy. Finally, he dared to face it with wide, pleading eyes. Cove is totally capable of being independent when he wants to be. He spoke very matter-of-fact and fixed a stern gaze on the group. Cove, meanwhile, blinked at having Mr. Kirk. Without thinking, Cove took another step forward, feeling trying to. Honestly, again, Mom grabbed the back of his shirt. She tried suppressing her laughter. Quite a few chuckles escaped. Actions speak louder than words. Cove's mouth twisted as he struggled to come up with something to say in his defense. He was newly embarrassed all over again. Yeah, well, so what? That admission had both their moms and his dad bursting into laughter. Cove grimaced and walked several steps from the group before stopping. He clearly wanted to move on, so much that he was physically moving away. He smiled softly and waved goodbye. When he noticed Cove's mouth pulled into a bent smile of its own, and he seemed to feel better at it.
See you later.
See you in a few hours. Take care of yourself. And at that, Mom picked the direction and set out into the market with Mr. Holden and Cove following behind her. Quitting Ma sent them off with a big wave. Liz gave a dainty goodbye wave herself. I felt like the change of plans was a good idea. Yeah, I mean, it's been 10 years. Cove needs, you need your space, especially if things are going to change. Together, there were 6 of you, so you could have already imagined how long it would have taken to get through even a fraction of the stars. Now you look forward to spending some quality time with Ma and Liz. When they were gone, Ma cheerily turned towards you and Liz. She put her hands on her head. Do you think there'll be any nice ginger around here? We'll have to find out. You nodded in agreement, keen to truly get the trip going. Ma led you both into the busy market. Some time passed browsing. There were only a few stalls you stopped at. You had fun chatting and laughing, pointing out various things to Ma and Liz and vice versa. At one point, Ma stopped suddenly. She put a hand to her own belly and gave a half-hearted smile. I think I should have used the bathroom before we left home, like the two of you responsibly did. Just need to pee?
Yes.
I'll have to visit the ladies' room now. Should we all go with you? Ma craned forward as she struggled to pinpoint the direction she needed to go. She gently considered your suggestion. There's no need to worry about me for this or waste time standing around. Keep on shopping. So actually, I might need help finding my way. Can you please come, Lizzie? You and your sister had to share a look over that. Why do that of all things?
Hey.
Ma, if anyone should go anywhere on their own, shouldn't it be you? You're the one needing a detour, and you're the parent here. Ma giggled, unfazed by the resistance. Liz, meanwhile, tipped the brow of her hat, watching Ma skeptically. Then enough, Jules will have to handle doing these kinds of errands on their own. This makes a good practice. What? Ma hooked an arm around Liz and pulled her along.
Have fun.
Fun. We'll find each other again later. Excuse me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we've been tricked. 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Bye. It was all you could mutter as Mom and Liz waded into the crowd. They were out of sight with their moans, and what started as group batting rapidly became you entirely on your own. But I don't want to be on my own. I'm just kidding. I thought Mom was being ridiculous, but you didn't really mind. You weren't sure what ulterior motives Ma had for pulling this, but that was far down on your priority list at the moment. You were starting to feel happy at the idea of doing things at your own pace. Sorry, I had a hiccup. Walked off on your own. Back to your feet, you picked up where you left off, browsing the stalls. One hooked your attention. Most stalls were selling good garden grown food. This one had an array of homemade fudge. There were even vegan versions of every option. Fudge. You sidestepped past a few other people and got yourself right in front of the counter for a better look. With a wide spread, dozens and dozens of delicately cut squares of decadence. Fiona smiled and approached you to explain their shop. Fudge is sold in boxes of 4 pieces. They either can be all the same, all different, or any mix you like. You looking to buy any today? The whole selection is just too good not to share. And that was all. Yeah, I could use some fudge. Glad you came to the right place then. So the first you picked... Ooh, white chocolate peppermint. Oh my gosh. Yes. Design. Yes. I am totally picking flavors that I like. Everyone else is definitely going to be happy when you regroup later. You paid and there was no stopping a large grin going all across your face. Pivoting on your heels, you wove your way back to the center of the path. You pondered for a moment what you should do now, and none of the stalls were catching your eye. What did grab your attention, however, was a head of familiar sea foam hair sticking out above the crowd. You knew instantly it was Cove. You hadn't noticed it yet, but he was walking in your direction. He held a couple bags tightly in his hand. Strangely, you couldn't spot your mom or dad or his dad anywhere. Cove, over here! He instantly stopped dead in his tracks. Alert, Cove's head snapped up and his eyes searched the crowd until they landed on you. His demeanor brightened at the sight. Jules! He waved through passersby awkwardly in an attempt to get through as fast as reasonably possible, nearly stumbling more than once. He stepped around a few people to meet Cove part way. It was undeniable that he was shopping by himself. He stared at him confused. Where's the rest of your group? Cove crossed his arms defiantly, the bags twisting in front of him. Your mom took my dad, and I ended up alone. Why are you by yourself? Ma and Liz abandoned me, too.
What?
What? I can't believe this happened to both of us. They planned it. They had to. But I don't know why. Are they drinking us? I don't know either. And you missed it. You couldn't fathom what your moms were up to. Cove shook his head, trying to clear his mind.
Well,
I guess things are just up to us now. Yeah. So, his gaze wandered off, as if one of your parents might simply appear if you kept checking, and you could tell he was still processing the situation. Scratched the back of his head, looking sheepish. You want to forget about whatever's happening and go shopping together? Definitely. There's a little care in your mind for what your mom had said. You were ecstatic at it, so I was spending the rest of the trip with him. Cove's grin twisted into a conspiratorial one. You both knew that you were going against whatever had really been planned for the sighting. But luckily, neither of you cared one bit at this point. Where'd you first? I don't mind going back the way I came if it's new to you. It's not hard to miss stuff, even if I've gotten past it. What have you gotten? He shuffled his bags around and started pulling them open so he could peek inside each one. He recognized the array of things he picked up around the market. He also got typical things that can use pretty easily so far, nothing super exciting. Well, I picked up a few things that I figured you might want to have too. A few red onions, some lemons, some sweet potatoes, among other things that were wrapped up so you couldn't discern what they were. You chose perfectly, thank you. The coat bot made sense, but it was far from a complete selection. Then surrounded the nearby stalls. Want to start over there? So followed your eyes, you pointed at one of the larger stalls, filled with several kinds of staple fruits and vegetables.
come on.
Yeah, let's go. Since a few people finished playing and moved, you and Cove got yourselves circling in front of the shop. There's so many things to pick from. Cucumbers. They go great in salads. Strawberries. With sorry, I took my headphones off in the middle of talking. With some whipped cream and angel food cake, that is delicious. Spinach. And that was everything. The shop owner put your selection together and handed it to you all in a single bag. Happily, you paid and waited for Cove to make his purchase. Ready to go? Cove grinned, satisfied with his new choice. He had added another bag to a small but growing collection. He nodded.
All right.
Okay, now let's go. Together you and Cove wandered the market on the lookout for any stalls that caught your attention. Cove was walking around with his step, talking about the various new ideas he had in mind. After a while, you had to go greater distances to find something of interest. Several of the stalls were selling the same goods, only a matter now of which you wanted to buy from. You continued ambling down the path until Cove disappeared suddenly from your peripheral vision, pulling you away from your thoughts. Cove? You turned around, spotting him some steps back. He was standing still. Followed his eye line past the crowd. Immediately you knew what had grabbed him. Homemade drums and local honey. That stall was floating with quaint glass jars stacked high, each with looking dolls of various colors. Those eyes were practically sparkling at the sight. And apparently the type of plants that bees pollinate changes the flavor of the honey. The feet automatically began to take him there, likely without him being fully aware he had made an unexplained detour. When you got closer to his surprise, there were even more varieties than he thought. There were even different honeys based on what type of pollen the bees used. Exactly. Cove swiftly seemed torn between a bottle of blackberry jam and one of silver honey. Want some honey? Then finally Cove nodded in response, his face was burning red. He grinned, way too pleased with strange jokes. You thought things over for yourself, too. Now, about honey, people think that it's bad to take honey from bees, but actually it's good because they usually make way more than they need. You're basically helping them to control their environment that they live in. It's funny, it doesn't have my favorite jam. But I suppose most of the time you're not going to see jam made from grapes because you're usually going to use those to make wine. Honey butter and rhubarb jam. Apparently rhubarb is very tart. That's flavor. And that was everything. You paid and the shop owner started putting together your order. Carefully packed it in a single bag with paper. Thank you very much. You watch Cove give in and just buy both the silver honey and the blackberry jam. Also went all in, getting spring wildflower honey and plum jam too. The shop owner thoughtfully wrapped each in brown paper to protect them before putting them away in a bag. He handed the purchase to Cove.
Thank you.
Well, stepped away from the store. Cove didn't feel too much. Luke had been giving him to agonize over his clothes coffers. Hey, this doesn't go back for a long time, so why not stock up? I could have chosen one if I wanted to. All right, Cove. It'll be nice to enjoy snacking on it for a while. As he began to stroll, Cove looked up at the sky. He smiled. It was sort of unexpected, considering all of this was technically an errand. Unexpected changes often upset him. But he was happy, and Cove liked doing this kind of normal thing. And you could tell that Cove especially enjoys doing these kinds of things with you. You're feeling the same as him. I'm not going to let what happens by a damper in this outing. I wonder what the others are doing right now. You're blaming for not really knowing how to answer. You weren't sure yourself what was going to happen when you all regret later either. It wasn't something you were that worried about. Later, when he spotted a less crowded area, he took a break from browsing. He started rummaging through one of his bags just to check on how his goods were doing. Then he on his face as he went on to the next. He chuckled knowing that Cove wouldn't let anything go to waste. There wasn't a single bag. He was going to eat it all. You held a hand in front of your face as he squinted upwards. The sun had moved quite a bit. Been at the market for a good while now. Either your feet or your arms were sore right now, and Cove looked to be doing fine too, but that was something that could be coming. It was a price to pay for this much shopping, and it wasn't always just in money. Yep. I've been doing the grocery shopping for my family, for various reasons, and I've had back problems since I was a kid, basically. So sometimes if I'm not careful, my back is not happy with me. Just enjoy the break from walking. There's a breeze you just barely notice in the air, and you contentedly sigh. I can read honest. Happy that the weather was cooperative for the market. It made things even better.
Oh.
Why don't I carry your stuff for a while? I don't mind, and I figure your arms could maybe use a break. Thanks, but no thank you. He looked away from you and scratched the back of his head. His voice came out softly. Okay. I thought you and Cove continued your trip to the market together. Mom, I both texted you during the trip. It was to say that they hoped you found some good stuff and that they'd see you later. There were no answers on where they went. Well, why? You and Cove continued to wind your way through the bustling market. The list of outstanding items steadily shrinking while bags grew heavier. Eventually, Cove realized that he hadn't checked his own phone in a while. Two of you came to a stop in the nearest South Cove where you'd be out of sight during people for reasons the stalls and pulled out his phone. Cove rearranged all the bags he was carrying, freeing a hand so that he could pull out his phone. He watched his eyes started over the screen as he read the waiting messages. Not important, I can reply to that later, he mumbled his verdict under his breath. And Cove's face scrunched up with confusion.
Huh?
Wait, I got a message from my dad. Listen to this. Cove, I wasn't part of the plan. I didn't know what was going on when I left with Jules' mom. Where are you? He sent that ages ago. I didn't hear it come in. He sent another one since then, since he hopes I'm alright and that he's not bothering me. The next one says everybody's going to the parking lot soon and we can meet up there. Lowered his phone, eyes narrowed. The same conclusion that was sailing on you to find the dog's as well. So it was on purpose. Lifted the phone again, staring hard at the screen. Didn't my mom pull this stunt when we were little? You know, that time she took us to the mall? My mom's had a plan. The mall thing was for the moment. Yeah, that's true. Drunk people passing by stayed as noisy as ever, sharp contrast and side on over you and Cove. He was rubbing the screen of his phone against his shirt, wiping away dust and debris. Continued scrubbing the screen long after anything could have been made, and the action of course was too. Unfortunately, the awkwardness of the moment. One, two, three, four, five. Three. You were furious. You weren't a choice man to play stupid games with. How could they think this stunt was alright? How are they going to explain this? He laid his hand on your shoulders, grounding you. His friend grew quiet, but his mouth was a stiff, serious line, his eyes wide with concern.
Sorry.
What about your mom, leaving you alone out here like this without warning? You speak slower than usual. You suspected that he was choosing each word carefully. It was unnatural. You appreciate that I didn't want you to keep saying it further. I don't know if you want to talk to me about this, but I can definitely back you up. I totally get that it's touchy. Nothing at all. You stayed silent. Cove waited, allowing you ample opportunity to speak up and get your hundreds of words before piping up himself. I don't mind listening. There's a soft reassuring his smile, like a sort of gentle encouragement. You didn't need to dwell on that. I don't get anything out of getting worked up over it. I want you to forget about it. You then drew a deep breath, the fresh air steadying you. You didn't stop until your lungs were full. Cove washed over you, still concerned.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, even though I guess it's not exactly my fault this time, but is there anything I can do to make you feel better, even a little bit? You already have. You did? Yeah, you really did. Cove nodded in understanding. He smiled, a simple, open and honest smile, and you knew that he'd accepted your answer. After a moment, he stepped further away from you, face turned. Cove closed his eyes, took a deep breath. His brow creased and furrowed deeper into a scowl, arms tightly coiling together. So they did do something stupid. I knew it. Voice had taken on an exaggerated quality, but what truly distinguished it from Cove's typical speaking tone was the abundance of rage. This is such a chore. Parents are so dumb. Why do people have to go places with family members anyways? I hate them, and I also hate farmers markets. He got it instantly. It had been years since the boy with the bowl cut had been in town for the summer, but Cove had never forgotten. To this day, he continued to unleash his impersonation whenever the moment felt right. Sometimes he wondered if the act had grown more exaggerated over the years, or if the kept really was always that ridiculous. He burst out laughing, and every time it never failed to crack you up. So gave Jill a side smile, letting the joke rest for now. Come on, we should probably go meet up with the group. Yeah. You can't dally any longer, slipping back into the crowd and making your way towards the entrance of the farmer's market. You make it away. It didn't take long to reach the parking lot. Your parents, Mr. Holden and Liz, were already waiting there, and they waved at you both as you approached. Your own family seemed to be in pretty good moods in contrast to Mr. Holden. He stared at Cove with open concern as you got closer. Hey, bud. Hey, Jules. How you doing? We would be doing better if it hadn't been abandoned at farmer's market by our families. Saw your mom's running at his response. Mom glancing from Cove to Mom with blinking eyes. Just because Jules is really laid back doesn't mean you can just leave them out of your plans and expect them to go with it every time. Mom hung her head, ashamed, and Mom had a hand pressed to her cheek. You could tell that they were quickly regretting their scheme.
I'm so sorry.
Her words were full of emotion. Mom squeezed Ma's arm. We were trying to make the errand more of a trip, less of a chore. Ma nodded. We didn't think you, Cove, and Liz wanted to be stuck trudging around a market with your parents all day. Especially not in the summer. But you're always very thoughtful and don't like to leave your moms behind. So we did ourselves. It was only going to be for the market, not the other stops, I promise. Still, you're quite right. We could have just told you to let you make your own calls. I really am sorry. Neither of us meant to upset you.
I'm really sorry.
All gas, no brakes. And we should have known better. Sorry. Ma ditched me too after pulling her urgent potty breaks, but if that helped, I went out to do my own shopping as soon as they planned.
Sorry.
Sorry I didn't check back in with you. I wasn't thinking, just tried to blow it off. He quietly took an assurance of what happened. Over to the side, Cove was talking to his dad. Thanks for telling me something was up, but I feel bad for missing the warning when you sent it.
You're welcome.
It's no trouble, sport. I learned my lesson about making it surprise plans. Cove smiled at his dad. Mr. Holden laughing clapped Cove on the back. Wow, we're really being outplayed today. Yes, you hadn't been the only one on the threat to the Holden's moment. Your moms were exchanging rueful looks. Liz had her arms crossed over her chest, patiently watching it all unfold. Yes, looks like it. We better find some way to catch up.
In that case?
Maybe we could do Jules' chores for the next week? Mom jabbed Ma on the shoulder. You might be onto something, Jules. How'd you like the sound of that? He looked at you hopefully. You don't have to do anything. I think we do. Come on. At the very least, you can make sure everyone stays together for the rest of the shots we're making today. Well noted at the suggestion.
Yes.
We won't let you down. We'll be the best sheepdogs ever, fair enough not from catching any strays.
Honey.
We could at least be shepherds. You chuckled, your rude lifting by the bumpy morning. That's going to be all right. You turned to the entrance for the farmer's market for a final glance, pressing into your memory under this new light. You thought on what you'd picked up at the market and how you were going to enjoy it later. Some things you could only get from local suppliers like this. That's another perk about coming along to the market today. Actually, you realize this would be a good time to bring up the fudge you got to share while everyone was tested together. Hey, wait, before we go, I've got something for everybody. The announcement grabbed everyone's interest, and they looked over at you, each curious about what you had in store. You dug your head in the bag and pulled up the specially selected treat. Saw this amazing punch stall, so I got a box for us to share. Ooh.
Aww.
That's so sweet of you. The Holdens were wearing matching grids at the prospect of free dessert. The family resemblance more notable as they mirrored each other's expressions. Sweet is the right word for this. Thanks very much, Jules. Thank you.
You're fantastic.
Okay, great. Can't wait to bust it open. We should save it for tonight. You can't properly enjoy a treat when there's still chores to be done. Besides, we don't want to make a mess with it melted in this heat. The others murmured their agreements and nodded, reaching a consensus. Stowed the box away safely for now. Holden followed up next to you, and even smiled on his face. You could tell from his expression that he was up to something. Thanks again for getting fudge. It was really cool of you. You knew he had come over just to thank you individually, not Huge smirk.
I
I got something to share too, but well, only really with you. I guess I'm not as nice. Oh well. You cooked up a scheme of your own? He laughed. Anyway, well, I sort of picked something out with you in mind. Held a hand out your chest, staring at Cove as he explained further.
mean,
Since your mom decided we should shop separately, I figured I could use the time to get you something, just as a little surprise. He reached into one of his bags and retrieved one of the wrapped-up objects. He accepted the unexpected present, and he looked on excitedly as he tore off the paper. It was a glass bottle of a small batch lemonade. You didn't need to taste it to know that it would be nice. It was a boutique product. It was heavy in your hands, the container and smart metal cap reaffirming the quality. Even the label, constructed from coarse paper rather than a flimsy sheet of plastic, was distinctive. You were practically bouncing in anticipation. He smiled sweetly at your reaction. Not a big deal, but I just thought you might like it. Thank you. The touch that Cove wanted to treat you to something nice. Whether you were physically together or not, you were clearly always on his mind and in his heart. Yeah! Kind of makes me regret not wanting to romance him, but I will do that later on my own. Just clapped your hands together with the air of a teacher calling for attention. Since the other adults aren't acting like grown-ups, the rest of us are going to have to pick up the slack. Time to get back on schedule and continue with the rest of the errands. Playtime is officially over. Bob laughed while Mr. Holden grinned awkwardly. Mom hung her head in an exaggerated display of boxer feet. Kids are tough, and I can't even call them kids anymore. Liz pet-petted with amusement at her mother. Cove shrugged, staying a neutral observer. A small smile on his face revealed that he was enjoying the conclusion. Yeah, honestly, I wasn't even 18 when I graduated high school. My birthday was later in the year. But it's not late enough that I would have been entered school the following year instead of the year that I did. If that makes any sense at all. You laughed, glad that everyone was getting along. That's right, we're all grown-ups now. With that, your trip to the farmer's market was closed. It was time to move on. There were too many people for one car, so you and Cove had wound up in Mr. Holden's car on the way over. Figured it made sense to do the same for the next leg of the journey. He sat next to Cove in the back. After buckling in, Cove leaned back in his seat, laying himself feet cushioned by the headrest. Once he shifted a little, he appeared to have found the perfect angle for maximum comfort. He gazed out of the window, looking suitably content with the world. He followed suit, hunkering down in your seat and looking out the window as the car pulled away from the lot. You knew Cove well enough to spot the signs of when he was physically present, but mentally elsewhere. The way he was all quiet, staring without seeing the long blinks, all of which he was doing right now as he looked at nothing in particular. You closed your eyes as he pulled up resolved to speak. You were miles away for a second. What were you thinking about? Cove idly rubbed at his face. Honestly, I was just thinking about how nice it is to know you. It, makes life better and everything. He turned away from you, his eyes were round and sincere. Not that this is a new revelation, but today was another reminder. I'm lucky. I feel lucky, too. He peeked at you from the corner of his eye, still too shy to look at you directly. He smiled at him affectionately, lifting an equally caring smile from Cove in return. Felt content, secure in your relationship with Cove. Save the drink for later. Really special, you intend to make sure you gave it the attention it deserved. Spent the rest of the day completing the remaining errands all together as a group. This is another reason that I'm not doing the romance with Cove, is boys like this tend to end up being friends to lovers, and I just want to enjoy them being friends. Because friendships can be just as rewarding as something more. I'm glad that you closed the day with everyone. Ma had been true to her word and ensured that you spent the rest of the time with the Hunt family and the Holden family in one place. It's been a wonderful time, a lovely high note to end on. Okay. Alright. Considering how long these two were, I don't think I'm going to try doing another one. So next week will be I remember correctly, I'm going to end up streaming on Thursday. Not that this matters if you're watching this on YouTube. And my preference is to live stream on Wednesdays, but life happens and that's not always possible. So I have my calendar here. Next week is going to be Thursday, so got a lot going on Wednesday. And then the week after that will also be Thursday, but the 2 weeks from now will be Wednesday. So yeah, I hope everyone has a great day, week, month, whatever, whenever you watch this. Again, it will include, a link to the base game in the description. Since I did not play any DLC, I will not include the link to the DLC. When I do play the DLC, which probably won't be for at least 2 weeks, then I will include a link to that. I have a playlist that each stream is being added, and the playlist includes links to the base game and all 3 DLCs. There is a 4th DLC that's been released. I have not bought it yet because basically it's if you romance Cove and decide to marry him. And I'm not going to do that. So I probably will eventually buy it, just not for this. Yeah, so I hope everyone takes care, and I will see you some other. See you later.